Hello, welcome back to the channel. So we're looking at today, this is a deactivated Mosin Nagant. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We're going to talk a bit about deacts as well, and the different levels of deactivation. This will be what's called a post 1995 deactivation. There was another EU standard of activation put forward around 2011, 2012, I think, in which every part of this would be gutted. I mean, the bolt would be welded shut or welded open, whichever you chose. But the 1995 standard of deactivation, it was still open, it was still closed, it was still dry fire. You can still take out the bolt. We'll get some pictures and add them in up here of the deactivation. It's been the barrel has been cut, and the receiver has been cut along the bottom as well, and the pin has been driven through the receiver and through the barrel threads. So there's no way, and on top of that, the bolt has been chopped, and the firing pin has been chopped, and the extractor has been taken out. So safe to say, this is never going to shoot again. But so if it's never going to shoot again, why? And that was the current EU standard in 1995. Then why would they change it to something which makes it nothing more than a big expensive paperweight? Reasons? I can't think of one. The idea of putting fewer firearms into the hands of people totally backfired, because I certainly wouldn't want to deactivate that didn't do anything at all. Couldn't open, couldn't close, couldn't dry fire. So in that circumstance, I actually started buying live firearms, live rifles. I had no desire to have live rifles at one point. Deactivateds were perfectly sufficient for my purposes. I just like displaying these things at historical reenactment events and military history weekends and things like that. And for that, deactivates are perfectly fine. But if you can't open and close it, you can't dry fire, you can't do anything with it. It is entirely useless. So this whole thing of putting fewer firearms into the hands of people or ordinary citizens totally backfired. So whoever come up with that plan didn't understand people, didn't understand the people that the new legislation or the new regulation were going to impact. Because they did understand those people, they wouldn't have made that. They wouldn't have put forward that regulation, because it totally did the opposite of what they wanted to do. And I am by no means the only one. I know lots of other people who would have been perfectly happy with this level, this standard of deactivation. And then when the new standard of activation came into force in 2011, whenever it was, they decided that no, if we can't get deactivators like this anymore, we'll just buy live rifles. And they're already in rifle and pistol clubs. I was already in a rifle and pistol club. I had to be to have the pattern 14, which I use for reenactment. The legislation here in Ireland demands that I be part of a rifle and pistol club. So I became a member of one, and if I'm already a member of one, I may as well just buy other rifles and shoot them in the club, which is what I've done. And since then I've continued building quite an extensive collection of military surplus firearms, which started off as just being deacts. Now, what is the what's the status, we'll say, of milsurp collecting here in Ireland? Most of it is just collecting the acts, deactivated, like this Mosin Nagant 1930, model 1891-30, I beg your pardon, or Mausers or Lee Enfields. A lot of them were the 1995 deactivation standard, and that was quite sufficient for most people. Most reenactors who just wanted to have an actual historical piece that they could use in their representation, or they could use in their impression. But when after the legislation changed to just weld everything up and you couldn't do anything at all with it, a lot of them started moving to the same way I moved, and that was to buy live firearms for the purpose of reenacting, or for the purpose of classic rifle shooting and historical milsurp collecting. So that's the deal with this. This is the deal with a lot of milsurp collectors here in Ireland. They no longer happy to buy the current standard of deactivation across the EU. They would rather have something that they can use functionally. When I say functionally, what I mean is just open and close the bolt, dry fire, demonstrate it and things like that. You can't demonstrate anything when it's all welded up. So so that big plan really backfired. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Any questions, please put them in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you again soon.